What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone had a legendary week and enjoyed yesterday with your fam or your family, whoever you decided to kick it with. We're going to go ahead and break down Niners yams for you today. So I thought we start in with some players to watch. Kyle Shanahan on his press conference just a few moments ago. Well, probably about 10-15 minutes ago. He ended. But he had announced that pretty much Javon Kinlaw, Horonis Garasu, and I believe it was Eric Armstead that were removed from the COVID-19 list. He said there's an outside chance that Trent Williams plays, but it sounds like Brandon Ayuk, DJ Jones, and everybody else, the remaining 5 other players on the COVID list, 4 other players on the COVID list will be, let's put it this way, they're probably not going to play on Sunday. So, definitely, it's a rough one. But for all intents and purposes, it sounds like Richard Sherman and Debo will be back and playing on Sunday. So although we won't have, how many games have we really had? Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle. Debo Samuel. But the Yams game and the Patriots game are the only ones that come off the top of my head right now. Yeah, that's the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, and the Dolphins game, obviously, I believe. Maybe Brandon Ayuk was out for that one. I'll have to think about that and research it. But that's also Tom Compton sustained a concussion on Wednesday's practice. And so Colton McKivitz will be making his first start for the Red and Gold. A lot of people are thinking the future at right tackle of the Red and Gold. I don't know. We shall see. Definitely worth a look. At this point, right? Like, at least let's find out if he's not, or if at least he has a chance to be at this point. I don't think that you would be able to bring in a street free agent, that would have enough time to go through the COVID testing necessary to play on Sunday, and B, the team would be better served starting McKivitz, at least, who's a draft pick, and you would want to give a look at and develop, versus some street free agent that's probably only going to be around for a week or two. But we also are going to do players to watch. Raheem versus their linebacker core. I've listened, or was in the middle of listening to Niner Nation's Niners Yams preview, and the guest that they had on to preview the game that does Locked On Yams, I believe. But he was talking about how their linebacker core is suspect, and they're missing their starting one of their starting linebackers, and their backup has been exposed, according to him. So I think that having Raheem, or at least let's presume that we have Raheem back versus their D-line, I think is going to be huge, because we all know that especially, let's put it just the last week against the Saints game, we couldn't get anything going outside. The Aints had clearly put in a lot of effort and resources into stopping our outside zone. And so definitely would be good to have Raheem back, just because, he's our best running back, and his speed allows him to get to the outside a lot faster. But if we can get that blocked in and our run game to our standard, I think that will open up the offense a lot. And I'm not saying that we're going to go put up 40 points or whatever like that, but we'll at least see a functioning offense that can move the ball and can score at least to the level that we were used to the Niners scoring. Obviously, I put interior O-line at first, then I scratched it out and just put the line because they're going to put Aaron Donald on whatever matchup they see fit. I mean, if Trent Williams plays, I highly doubt that 99 sees a lot of reps against Trent Williams. But I would assume if I was the Yams, I would definitely have him line up at least a couple times against Mike McGlinchey. And think that we all know that Mike McGlinchey isn't the world's greatest pass blocker. And so if I was the Yams, I would definitely think that that's a place where I have Aaron Donald as an advantage. I wouldn't necessarily line him up at defensive end if he snap, but on a crucial third down that, you know, you feel that you need a sack or you need to get the Niners off the field, yeah, I'd definitely throw it out there and see and try my luck on that. But we all know that it's mostly going to be the interior of the line that is tasked with the duty of blocking Aaron Donald. We obviously did a phenomenal job in week 6 in our first matchup with them. This is look, I don't think that we could expect the Aaron Donald to have an off game. That was one of his worst games of his career, and I just don't see him having 2 games like that. You know, he's quite pissed off, and so you know, pissed off Aaron Donald doesn't seem too good for the interior O line. But you know, it's okay. Aaron Donald makes a sack. He makes a play. Aaron Donald, I believe, is going to make his plays in this game. We just cannot let him wreck our game plan. We can't just allow him to put us in 3rd and 16s, 3rd and longs consistently over and over and over and over again and expect to win this football game. So he's going to make his plays. They just can't come at crucial, you know, game-changing times. I put Robert Saleh versus Sean McVay. And I think this is a critical matchup. Obviously, you know, everybody's going, oh, well, Kyle Shanahan versus Sean McVay. Well, technically, you know, offenses don't go against each other. So, Robert Saleh, to me, this is pad your resume. We obviously, you know, I didn't watch the game, but, you know, I heard about it, and obviously a lot of people have been talking about it. We all saw what the Yams are good offense. And we saw what they're capable against a Bucs team, although they didn't score, you know, crazy amount of points. But, you know, they're a capable offense. And so to me, obviously, I want Robert Saleh back next year. I think that he's definitely secured his job as far as D coordinator for next year. Let's be real. He's definitely going to get, head coaching considerations this year in interviews. But this is the type of game that, you know, just pads your resume and gives you another, I call it a point to game. A game you can point to and say, hey, this is why I should be a head coach. And so, obviously, we know the devastation our D-line has gone through with injuries and COVID this week and throughout the season. And are obviously getting Richard Sherman back is going to help a lot with, I shouldn't say defensive problems because I don't feel that the defense has been a problem this year, but, you know, help elevate the play of our defense to even a higher level. I don't believe that the team is a worse team with Richard Sherman on the field, you know, at least until proven otherwise. And then our last top matchups will be Jalen Ramsey versus our wide receiver. I put BA and Debo at first, but then I scratched out BA since it doesn't look like he's going to play. BA is Brandon Ayuk, for those who don't know. But, or Jumpman, as I like to call him. But, because I'm sorry, that's the highlight of the year this year, his jump over the Eagles defender to score the touchdown in week 4? Yeah, week 4. So, Jalen Ramsey is going to... Man, why am I yawning so much? Excuse me. Jalen Ramsey is... I don't think he'll shadow Debo. And if the game plan is anything like it was last time, I mean, what difference will that really make? He'll be throwing behind the line of scrimmage. So, you know, but Jalen Ramsey is clearly, you know, one of their best defensive players. And when on top of his game, could play at a shutdown quarter level. And so he will definitely be a factor into this game, and finding a way to, limit his impact on the game will be a matchup I'm interested in watching. Our keys to victory this week will be no and self-inflicted wounds. I think it's very clear all of us walked away from that Aints game feeling that the Niners should have won that, and if it wasn't for some special teams miscues and, I won't even say the last interception, but the first interception definitely had a big, huge impact in the game, and if you eliminate those plays, we have a high percentage. Man. Okay, whoever's yawning around me needs to stop, bro, because it's really getting irritating. If you eliminate those self-inflicted wounds, there is a very high percentage that we could win that game against the Aints, and we're looking into this bye week at 5-5 and feeling a lot different about the season. I guarantee you that. So our second key to victory this week was play loose. I think a lot of times when the pressure's on, and let's be real, I feel that the players, the coaches, everyone in the organization and the fan base all feel like this is a must-win. That obviously we wouldn't be mathematically eliminated from the playoffs with the loss on Sunday, but it would be at the point where, okay, it's looking like it's not a possibility. It's looking like, it's going to take a miracle that pretty much nobody can expect to make the playoffs if we lose this game. Not only with the standings of the wild card, but also the division. I mean, you can't lose division games and expect to make the playoffs. I mean, it would put our record in the division at 1-3, and I mean that's just not going to get it done, especially how competitive the NFC West is this year. I'm not saying that we're going to win the division, but even for a wild card spot, I think it's pretty clear that a wild card is going to come out of the NFC West. It is all about pretty much that, and then the NFC South. I think us and whoever finishes second in the NFC South I said us. How funny. I think basically two teams from the NFC West make it, and it'll be a battle between second place of the NFC North, or NFC South, and NFC North, and maybe of the last, maybe us. So losing division games is not going to help. We have our last thing we're going to do is we did Players to Watch, Keys of Victory, top 5 matchups, Javon Kinlaw. Yeah, I think we covered about everything. A little interesting stat I thought is the Yams give up 62% of red zone touchdown percentage allowed. That's tied for 15th in the league, according to the guest on Niners Nation, with Rob Stats Guerrera and Kyle Posey. And the Niners are scoring touchdowns on 66% of their trips inside the red zone. That is 8th in the league. So I think this game will be decided by moving inside the 20s. If we can get to the red zone, I like our chances of scoring enough touchdowns to keep up. And I say the Niners win this game 24-20. That type of score, I think would conclude a Niners win, and we should easily expect this team to be able to put up 24 points. If we can't put up 24 points, I think that this is a disappointment. And honestly, we don't deserve to win the game if we can't put up at least 24 points. Little bit of Niner Yams history. I mean, I thought this was pretty cool. The Niners are 72-67-3 against the Yams and are now 70 years of playing. The first time they played was my mama's birthday, but 11 years before she was born. 1950, October 1st, 1950 to be exact. And if you look at regular season, Niners are 71, 67, and 3. I mean, it's hard to say domination, but I think that if you look at who, at least since the 80s in my lifetime, who's had the upper hand in Niners Yams, it's mostly been the Niners. And so I know on the outside this looks like a game that we don't stand a chance in, but I mean, I definitely feel that we have a chance. And I mean, you know, as the great, I want to say it was Damon Stubblefield that said, same sorry ass Yams. Well, he said Rams, but same sorry ass Yams. I mean, let's go, baby. It's Beat LA week. Let's go. You know, enough of this loser talk, enough of this tanking talk. I mean, it's time to get a dub. 3 games in a row we've lost. Man, it's time to end the losing streak. Then, you know, we could talk about draft and all that after, but it's time to get a dub. Beat LA, baby. Let's go. Let's show them how it's done. Let's show them that we're not going to quit. And get a dub at Levi South. Adam shall be returning. He had a spot of food poisoning. Hopefully he shall be returning Tuesday for Niners Yams review. For Super Duper Moderator Kim, Jason, and Jamie, Adam, we'd like to thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Niners Preview. We shall see you Sunday for Niners pregame. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.